Welcome to the Tony the Prophet channel for the 2025 into 2026 NFL season. I'm going to do a preseason tape here. I have some tips, some betting tips, and some advice, and hopefully just to set this up. So as we get into the weeks, I'll give you my best picks on the weekend. There's a lot that goes into that, but just set the groundwork with this tape. Hopefully I can get it through quickly. But first of all, NFL betting is the hardest sport to bet of all the major sports. You have the least sample size. They play the least amount of games compared to the other major sports. Just as you get comfortable with what's been happening, it all changes the next year. Teams change 30 to 35% of their rosters and get new coaches, and it makes it very difficult. There's no continuity except for a few teams. So anyways, and there's outside factors to make this very difficult pastime that we all love to do, but it's difficult to beat the book. So first of all, you get bad calls. Okay, I don't need to go in to tell you the AFC Championship game. The refs, poor Buffalo Bills, the curse of Marv Levy, they had about 12 calls go against them. Allen made the third and fourth down on the sneaks, and they marked them short. So I don't want to get into that. You have injuries during the game. You have injuries during the year. Your stars go out, and you're done. Weather, especially as you get later in the season, very hard to predict. Wind, snow, rain. Turnovers, the most unpredictable part of the game. We have to look at the turnover ratios to predict. Always take a look at that along with the spread. Travel, okay, travel is a big deal. You have some West Coast teams log a lot of air miles. You have international games now. You have the traditional West Coast teams having to travel to the East Coast for 10 a.m. Local time starts, and a lot of teams like the Raiders for years haven't handled that well. Hopefully they're doing better with that. Then you have anomalies in the schedule and different things. Some teams play in 11 days. We've had that where they play on a Thursday and during Thanksgiving, and then on a Sunday again. So they play 3 games, and NFL is scheduling Christmas games on Wednesday. We had NFL games every day of the week last year except on a Tuesday. So as the greed as they use 8-9 platforms, everybody's getting a piece of the pie. It makes it difficult as bettors to do well. And then you also have, and there's 3 or 4 teams every year that get 3 away games. So I'm betting the third away team. I don't care if it's Philly or who it is. So let's get into a few factors. I want to get into this, and I'm going to make some closing points. Early games of the year, what does well? Dogs and unders, the first few weeks, okay? And primetime unders especially. There's a lot of pressure on the teams when, if you're playing with 8 other games on Sunday at 1 o'clock, there's not so much pressure on you. But everybody is watching you. So I think these teams, especially early in the season, get a little conservative. They run the ball, and we seem to get a lot of primetime unders. That held till like into December last year. And dogs do well the first 2 or 3 weeks. Again, we don't have preseason. You don't have guys playing. You get new guys on the teams. You don't have the chemistry. You get 4 or 5 rookie quarterbacks and what have you. So it makes it difficult. Okay. The other thing is to bet early. I can't stress enough to bet early. But if you're placing your bets at 12:30 on a Sunday, it's already over. You might as well hand your money to the books. I do a little thing, and this had changed. I did this the other day quickly. My handwriting isn't so great, but I took a look at all the spreads. Now, you got to arbitrage between the different spreads. I use FanDuel, Fanatics, and DraftKings. That's what I have local. But you can see now, and some of these have changed. But if you bet early, I got the Giants plus 6.5 early in the week. Pittsburgh at 2.5 early in the week. Arizona, you're paying some juice at minus 120 at 5.5 at FanDuel. It's 6.5 everywhere. I bet the Eagles 6.5. I think that was Fanatics. They're up to 8.5. By the time the game, it'll be at 9. At that point, I don't know. You almost take Dallas or tease them up, get 15 points. I don't know at 9 if it's going to be enough, but Denver, I got 7.5. There's some 8s out there. And then the juice changes, okay? The vig you're paying these guys, okay? I've got some at minus 105. Here's the Detroit game. One site's at Detroit plus 2.5. The vig is minus 105 at DraftKings, minus 108 at FanDuel, and minus 110 at Fanatics. So if you're going to bet it, take it at 105. Doesn't seem like a lot, but the 50 cents, $1, $3, $5, depending on how much you bet over a series of 22 weeks, if you're picking up $20, $30 a week, and the more you bet, the more you make if you win. What you're saving, it adds up to a lot of money. So take a look at that. Don't just bet on one site. And the other thing I got to tell you, stay away from parlays unless you get those boosted parlays, and they usually have a low minimum, $10 or $20. If you want to do that, that's fine. But the more teams you add, you're not going to win. The books love to send you all these parlays and pre-made parlays. They're never going to hit, okay? You just throw your money down the toilet. Mike Lombardi calls them St. Jude bets because you might as well give your money to St. Jude because you're not going to win. Okay, 2-team parlay, 25% chance to win. 3-team parlay, 12.5. 4-team parlay, 6.25%. 5-team parlay, 3.1%. 6-team parlay, 1.56%. Don't be stupid. Don't get involved in these parlays and make the books rich. And then the refs. I had the Sucky 7 last year. Go on Football Zebras. See who the refs are before these games. I mean, if you're really like a line, I won't change because of the ref. But just know another piece in your arsenal. Some of these refs are bad. They make bad calls. They cost you money. Okay? There was the Sucky 7 last year. We're down to the Sucky 6. Jerome Boga retired. Thank God. He was horrible. But then we got Clete Blakeman. I don't want to get into it. He called 3 penalties in the last minute. It cost me a money line bet in 2019. He's been on my list ever since. Ron Torbert, Brad Allen, John Hussey, Scott Novak, the flag man. He wants to get on TV. He throws more flags than anybody. Okay, he wants the attention. So he's horrible. And then Kyle Sheffers. So go on Football Zebras, see who the guys are. And I just want to say, and I had some negative feedback. That's fine. Send me the feedback, good and bad. I do this as a hobby. I've been watching the NFL since 1960. I'm retired. This is like my new job. I mean, it hasn't been a new job. It's been my job all along. But I spend 55, 70 hours a week on this stuff, okay? Here's my typical routine. When I get up, I don't get up at 7 every day, but I listen on Sirius. You can go back and listen. I listen to a show at 7. I usually spills into the show at 8, and I listen to that. At noon, I'm watching a television program also on the radio, but it's easy to DVR it, and I can speed through it. 3 hours there, okay. I watch ESPN Bet every time they're on. I watch every game. Okay, on Sundays, I watch the Giants, and then when the Giants are on, I'm watching Red Zone. I've had Red Zone. This will be my 17th year. I watch Game Day View. I watch the matchup show. I've been watching that for 45 years, or how long Greg Cosell's been doing it on ESPN. So I watch other stuff, and I listen to the car when I'm driving. So I have all this stuff dialed in, and I'm just doing this for a hobby. I put my picks out there. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to lose. And don't bet the mortgage on it, okay? All these other experts, you basically need to get 55% wins and you can make money as a professional bettor. I mean, all these guys, Colin Cowherd, he gives his blazing 5. He's been 0 for 5, 1 for 4, plenty of weeks. So take what I give you as a piece to the puzzle, a little piece of grain. You have a brain, make your own picks. Take what I give you and, I'll give you spread data. I'll give you all this data. If you don't like it, don't disagree, don't bet. I'm not asking you to spend your mortgage money. I'm just doing this as a service. This is free. I do it as a hobby. I make no money doing this. I don't care. I don't need to make money. I just enjoy it. I enjoy analyzing games. I enjoy picking games. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I just send it out as an outlet for me to send out some information. Um, I look at a ton of stuff. I'm looking at offensive records, defensive records, turnover margin, sack differential, um, uh, team histories versus each other, all kinds of spread data, spread on the road, spread at home, previous spread history between the two, AFC versus NFC, um, you know, and then all the anomalies, in the back of my head, and they get stronger during the season. We get more data. Arizona plays better on the road. Cleveland has that great cover record against Cincinnati, as a week one. Uh, Zach Taylor, 1-11, first 2 weeks of the year. He lost to the Patriots at an 8.5 point underdog. Everybody got knocked out of the eliminator pools. Now he's been playing the starter, so maybe, but I'm looking for that Cleveland lines of around 5.5. That gets up. That's a good tease. I'm going to add points because their defense is horrible. Cleveland's a bad team, but they could keep it close. So all this data like that we look at, you know, all these angles. I'll give you another one. I have it written down. But anyways, I love Denver this week because first number one picks against the spread in their first game. Okay, it's like they're 8-22, and they've covered less. So you got Cam Ward going to Denver to play a top five defense at Mile High in altitude, and it's not going to be pretty. I like Denver. I like Arizona against the Saints, and some other games I've already bet. But anyways, I'll save that for the weekend. I'll get my bets out over the weekend. I try to do it every week. I may miss a week if I'm traveling or something, but let's have some fun. I send this stuff out. I appreciate your feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm going to be wrong. Just don't bet the mortgage on it. But if you think it's right, hopefully be right more than we're wrong. So thanks a lot. Subscribe, tell other people. I like to build up the following. And again, I don't make any money on this. I'm just doing it for fun. And I have a lot of fun watching football on the London days from 9:30 to midnight. It's Nirvana. So thanks, and we'll talk to you over the weekend.